Guess who's done with their first year of university? That's me, I'm done. I just checked my grades for spring semester. They were borderline. Which is not bad. A win is a win. C's get degrees. It's fine. I'm so happy I'm done and I don't have to retake any more classes, and that's a win. Spring semester, I got a 3.0 GPA, which is borderline for if you want to get into the dean's list for Georgia Tech. So that's what I meant by borderline. And I'm not complaining, okay? I'm super grateful for that GPA. In fact, I'm super proud of myself that I managed to still get that GPA. Yeah, that's all I want to say. Oh, since I'm done in this video, I'm just gonna yap about all the classes that I took freshman year at Georgia Tech. Here we go. Let me just start the video without further ado. Oh, and also before that, my major is computational media. So it's basically half computer science and half design. I'm part of the College of Computing, but also the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts. But these past 2 semesters, all the classes that I took are basically mostly gen ed requirements, math, and CS classes. Alright, so fall semester. In fall semester, my course load was actually really light. It was honestly such a breeze when I compare it with spring semester, which was very academically challenging. The first class that I took was GT1000. So it's a 1 credit class where we learn how to do basic stuff like write our resumes, career fairs, and I think we also had a project where we had to interview someone who's an expert in our field. And I interviewed a grad student in human computer interaction. It was a pretty chill class, and it's pass or fail. So it's like a really chill 1 credit class required for all freshmen. Math 1551, which is differential calculus or calculus 1. It's a 2 credit class, and in that class, we have lectures twice a week, and we have studio, or basically a session with our TAs where we're given practice problems and weekly quizzes. It's once a week every Friday. When I took this class, I was like, okay, GT is not easy. Because even the intro class, like Calc 1, I still have to put a lot of effort in it. I actually barely made an A in that, so I was able to get A's throughout all the first 3 exams. However, in the final, it was like all multiple choice, and I did quite bad in the final. I got like a C, but because I got A's in all my other exams, it kind of balances it out, and I barely made an A, so I'm grateful for that. And also, did I tell you that in the first exam for Calc 1, there was a freaking fire alarm in the middle of the math exam? Like, English 1101 or English Composition 1. It's a core English requirement. Oh my god, I really love that class. I really love my professor. I took it with Dr. Kelly Duquette. She's the best. She brought her cat and dog to office hours. She's really sweet. She would ask us for our birthdays at the beginning of the year and put it in her calendar. And during our birthdays, she would give little candies like Twix, Kit Kat. That's so cute. I swear, I'm so happy that I have her as my professor for my first semester because it's such a good adaptation from high school to college, especially that I'm from the other side of the world. So having such a kind professor like her, it really calms my nerves down. She's also very responsive, and I think the projects that I did in her class was the first one was a short story. I wrote a short story, it was really fun, and then second one was a team presentation, and the third one was some blog article about animals using like a website builder. I just love my professor so much. Thank you, Dr. Duquette, for being my professor. EAS 1601. So this is Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. And this class was really interesting. It's basically a class where we learned about planets, the formation of the Earth, black holes, supernovas, the life cycle of the sun, like basically all the existential crisis universe questions. You know the YouTube channel Kurzgesagt? I don't know if I pronounced it right, but it's basically like similar to that. It's a 4 credit class with a lab. The lab part was kind of annoying because my lab was on 8 a.m. I don't know honestly how I was able to just come to every single 8 a.m. lab where each lab would take 3 hours, but oh, freshman year me was diligent, I guess. The tests are open note, open book. So it's like an easy A. If you want to get a GPA booster, you should take this class because the tests are open note and it's really easy. CS 1301, it's my first CS class at Georgia Tech. It's Intro to Computing, where we learned basic CS with Python programming. So I took this class online with Professor David Joyner. It's basically an edX course where he was the one teaching, and there would be like quizzes and tests, but everything, like 100%, was online. So we could pace ourselves. Obviously, for exams, there are deadlines, like certain exams must be done by certain dates. But other than that, everything was very self paced. In a way, I like that it was self paced because that means that I don't really have to sit in lecture for 2 hours every week. But at the same time, I remember it did feel kind of lonely. Because I remember in one of the units, I think when we were learning about dictionaries and files, I was really struggling. But I was the only person I knew who took the class, and the only quote unquote friend that I have was ChatGPT and the Ed discussion forum. So it was really lonely. So because after taking that class, I realized how I didn't like taking it fully online because I didn't have friends to discuss over. I decided that the next CS classes I will always take the in-person version, not the online one. I think CS 1301 was a fair class. I do think that it's not an easy class. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like a super smart person. If you're like already naturally genius or smart, I guess you might think it's easy, but for me, it's like medium level because I do struggle. I did failed one exam, but it's fine because for the other exams I like worked really hard and I still got an A in that class. Oh my god, I forgot one more class. This was the class that made my GPA not a 4.0 in the first semester. It's history. History 2112. It's the United States since 1877. So, you know me, I'm an international student. I have never learned US history except for like Alexander Hamilton and the fact that Christopher Columbus discovered the continent of America. Like, that's literally all I know about US history. So, this class was a struggle because my professor was very passionate about history. That's really good, right? But for someone who have zero experience with US history, oh, that's like not good. I mean, it's normal. He would assume that students already know the basic US history stuff like Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. Obviously, all Americans learn that all the time from elementary school, but I'm not American, so it was hard. For the first exam, I got like a D or something, and I was like, oh shoot, I don't know, I might fail this class. But I grinded really hard for this. I met with the professor, I asked for his advice, and I was able to get A's and B's for the next exam, so I managed to get a B in this class. I'm really happy with first semester how light it is. My GPA was really good. Alright, next is spring semester. The S in spring stands for struggle and stress. All right, let me just start. First class, CS 1331. It's called Intro to Object Oriented Programming, or basically Intro to Java. In this class, we learned a lot of the basic concepts in Java, and I did learn Java a little bit in high school with IB Computer Science, so I kind of slacked off for the first quarter of this semester, which was something that I wish I didn't do. So the first part of the semester, I learned basic stuff like for loops, scanner. I was like, oh yeah, I learned this all in high school. It was easy. I didn't have to study, and I got like a C in the first exam. So I was like,
Oh, okay. No, I actually have to study.
then I came to a recitation, which is basically like an extra class hosted by the TAs once a week where we review all the content for the week. And I realized that my professor for this class, his teaching style wasn't really the best fit for my learning style. So after the first exam where I got a C, right, I just decided to stop going to lecture and instead come to every single recitation and pay extra full attention to that recitation and take notes from the recitation slides and make my own summary. And that freaking worked. From a C, I was able to get a 97 and a 96 in the next exams. Like, that trick worked. So really just do what's best for you. If your professor's teaching style isn't the best fit with your learning style, then I suggest you to find other ways of learning other than going to lectures. Oh, but what I don't like about this class is that the final is worth 40% of the whole grade. I feel sad because I did quite bad in the final. It was like really difficult as well. It had a coding section for like 90 minutes. The coding section was really hard. I feel like I just wrote some stuff out for the sake of it. And because of that, even though I was able to maintain an A throughout the semester, but the final kind of just killed me, so my final grade was a B. So yeah, I'm like pretty bummed about that. But at the same time, I'm really happy I was able to pass this class because this was not an easy class. We have homework every week, and the homework are like long programs that we have to write, 7 to 9 PDF pages long of instructions. We have to make multiple Java classes, and we have to do it every week. And it always takes hours and days for me, especially because for me, I just don't have the intuitive mind drilled for CS. Like, for me, when I learn new CS concepts, I have to actually sit down and ponder through it for a bit. I know a lot of friends who are just able to get it immediately. No, that's not me. So that's why the homework always takes hours. We have to write our own tests with the main method in the driver file. So it was a struggle. This was the class where I really had a lot of things to learn. Just imagine, 3 months ago, I didn't even know how to call a method in Java. And now I know a lot of stuff like generics, linked lists, ADTs, a lot of stuff. So it's really like character development through this class. CS 2050, Intro to Discrete Math. Discrete math. This might have been like the hardest math class that I have taken in my whole life because it's such a weird class in a way that it's like all kinds of math and CS but combined into one. I don't even know how to describe this class in a sentence. We learned a lot of different things. We learned about
Functions, high complexities, a lot of proofs, permutation and combination, probability.
basically it's all genres of math and CS combined into one. I guess this is like the theoretical aspect of CS. And this class also has homework due every week, just like Intro to Java. And homework also always takes hours because they usually have like 8 to 12 questions where each question would literally take me 2 hours to do because honestly, I don't know, maybe I'm just slow. But yeah, it was a struggle having to take this class together with CS 1331 because the due date for the homework for CS 1331 is on Wednesday and the due date for this class's homework is Thursday. So basically, every Monday and Tuesday, I just like don't sleep. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not that bad. I'm so sorry. It's fine. It's fine. And this class has an optional final exam, so they would only take 3 of the highest exam grades. So if your first 3 exams are already good enough, you can choose to opt out from taking the final, which is what I did. So basically, I got a B for my 3 exams, and then the final was on the same day with my linear algebra final. And I'm like borderline failing linear algebra, which is like a really hard class that I'm going to talk about after this. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not taking the final for discrete. I'm good with my B. Right, so that's discrete math. Linear algebra, Math 1554. It's a 4-credit class and it is known as one of
the hardest classes at Jordan's.
So in this class, we're basically learning about matrices,
Eigenvalues and eigenvectors, diagonalization, column space, null space, row space, orthogonality.
yeah, basically all things about matrices. I am lucky enough to get the good professor. I took this class with Professor Sal Barone, but even though I have a good professor, this class is still a struggle for me because it's literally like a lot of content. This is like my summary for all my exams in Math 1554. We have lectures thrice a week, so on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have studio every Tuesday and Thursday. Oh my god, honestly, this class was really interesting. Like, I actually like the concepts that we learned. It's really interesting, but it's just so hard. But I'm really happy because I barely got a B in this class. I saw the final grade yesterday. I got like an 80.99. It's like literally borderline B, almost C. I remember when I was calculating my grades for the final, like before taking the final, I was like, okay, so I need to get a 62 in the final to get a B, right? I got a 65. So, yes, I really want to celebrate by like running around tech grade 4 times or something. I'm so happy, honestly, yeah. English 1102, it's basically English Composition 2, like the continuation of English 1101. It was really interesting because we got to watch Dune and Interstellar movies, and the assignments were also quite fun. We had to do an infographic for children once, I think, and that was really fun because I love designing. It's basically like my major, right? And we also had to do a group project, a podcast. Well, I spent like 9 hours editing the podcast, but other than that, I like this class. It's like low effort. I was able to get an A, not really putting in my maximum effort, so I'm just really grateful. This is my only A this semester. Psychology, Psych 1101, General Psychology. I got a C in this class. But let me tell you, it's not because I'm like lazy or anything. Well, I'm actually kind of lazy, but like, no, it's not because I'm lazy that I got a C, okay? The way this class is structured is they only have exams. There's no homework, there's no class participation, no quizzes, nothing. It's literally just exams. So each exam is worth 25% of the grade. And there are 4 exams. And each exam has 35 multiple choice questions where it's just case studies and I have to like analyze and identify what psychological term it is. And it's like really tricky because the options are like
A, B, C, B, and C, none of the above, all of the above.
like I hate those kind of questions. I overthink a lot, that's why. And also, the exams are like not set in the syllabus. For some reason, my professor did it in a way that's like he would ask a week before the exam.
Okay, when do you want this exam to be held? Monday, Wednesday, or Friday? Raise your hand and vote.
And the voting, it just doesn't work for me because it's always voted on the same day of my CS exam, which was so annoying because, like, of course, I need days to practice and learn stuff for CS, right? While for psychology, I thought it's not really practice-based. So, of course, I always focus on CS more, and because of that, I keep getting, like, Cs in the exams, and because of that, I got a C in the final grade. But quite sad because it's actually close to a B. But oh well, it's fine. If you're my future employer, I hope that I won't need my psych grades for your job. Yeah. But I guess that's all. So, second semester, my GPA was like tanking. But at this point, I'm just so grateful that I do not have to retake anything. That's literally the only thing. You know, other people are like, oh, I gotta be in this class. I'm so sad. Like, okay, cool, girly, I sympathize with you. Getting a B sucks. But like, I'm just so numb at this point that even with my C in psychology, I'm like, whatever, I'm done. I'm leaving for next semester. I'll be an academic weapon next semester. But this semester, what it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I don't know why I'm being like so hyper right now. It's literally like 1 a.m. But I'm just too happy, I guess. I'm too happy that I passed all my classes.